All right, let's talk about something that is incredibly important and honestly pretty stressful for a lot of people: spousal sponsorship applications. Getting this right is absolutely crucial. So in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly how you can build a case that is clear, convincing, and ultimately gets you that big yes.
It's the nightmare scenario, right? It's the question that keeps so many couples up at night. You know your relationship is real. Your love is the most genuine thing in your world. So why on earth would your application get refused? It's a terrifying thought, and believe me, it happens way more often than you think.
Okay, let's just rip the Band-Aid off and get right to it. The number one reason that real, genuine applications get rejected is because the immigration officer comes to one simple, devastating conclusion. They believe your marriage is a sham, that you got married primarily to get a visa, not for love.
And that leads us to the single biggest mistake that couples make. See, you're living in your relationship every single day. The authenticity, the love, it feels completely obvious to you. So you just assume that the person looking at your file, this stack of papers, is going to see that same obvious truth. But that assumption, that's exactly where everything can start to go wrong. To build a truly bulletproof case, you have to understand something fundamental. You and the visa officer are starting from two totally different places. You're not on the same page, you're not even in the same book. There's this huge mindset gap that you need to bridge with your application.
And this quote right here, this says it all. You have to remember, this isn't personal for them, it's professional. These officers are trained to be skeptical. Their default setting isn't, "Oh, what a lovely couple." No, it's, "Okay, prove to me this isn't a fake marriage." They are actively hunting for red flags from the second they open your file.
This chart just lays it out perfectly. Your reality is an emotional truth. Our love is real. The officer's mandate is a legal one. Prove it. They aren't there to feel the warmth of your relationship. They are there to see cold, hard, verifiable proof that your main goal isn't a visa. And it's 100% your job to provide that proof.
So how do you do it? How do you actually bridge that gap and give them the proof they need? Well, it really comes down to avoiding two crucial mistakes that can sink an otherwise totally genuine application. So let's break these down. Think of them as the two pillars of a bulletproof case.
Okay, pillar number one is all about quantity. This is the foundation of your entire case. You need to build a massive, undeniable mountain of evidence that documents the entire story of your relationship. No shortcuts.
Now, when we say quantity, we mean submitting every single thing you can think of that covers every single phase of your relationship, from the day you met to your marriage, and especially anytime you had to spend apart. You cannot leave any gaps. You're trying to create a complete, unbroken timeline of your life together, and it all has to be backed up by hard evidence.
So what does this evidence actually look like? Well, your marriage certificate, that's just the starting point. That's table stakes. We're talking wedding photos, flight stubs, hotel bookings, proof you've sent each other money, joint rental agreements, shared bank accounts. I mean, look at this list. It's anything and everything that proves your lives are truly tangled together, both financially and socially.
But, and this is a huge but, just having a giant pile of evidence isn't enough. And that brings us to our second equally important pillar, the quality of your proof. It's not just about what you send. It's about telling a story that is crystal clear and super easy for the officer to follow.
I mean, think about it. If you dump a disorganized 500-page mess on someone's desk, what are they going to think? It's confusing, it's frustrating, but an organized, well-explained submission, that's compelling. Quality is all about the presentation. You have to be the tour guide for the visa officer, leading them by the hand to the only possible conclusion: your marriage is the real deal.
And here's a super simple 3-step recipe for quality. First, organize everything. Put all your travel docs together, all your financial stuff together, and so on. Make it logical. Second, contextualize. A photo is just a pretty picture until you add a little note explaining who's in it, where you were, and why it's a special memory. Same with chat logs. And third, format. If IRCC gives you a template, for goodness sake, use it. They're giving you the answers to the test.
And these things on the slide, these are the exact mistakes that kill the quality of your application. Just throwing in random screenshots or a bunch of photos with no captions is a huge red flag. It forces the officer to guess what's going on, and trust me, you never want an officer to guess. You want to give them clear, simple, easy-to-digest proof.
So what's the actual real-world impact of getting this right versus, well, getting it wrong? The difference in the outcome here can be absolutely night and day. Let's look at the two paths your application could go down.
I mean, just look at these two columns. The difference is stark. A weak case on the left,
That can lead to things like dispute resolution, fairness letters, where you literally have to defend your relationship in writing, and yeah, a potential refusal. But a strong case, over on the right, that builds the officer's confidence. It leads to way faster processing, and it gets you that approval you're working so hard for.
And how much faster are we talking? A really complete, holistic, and perfectly organized application can sometimes get a decision in as little as 3 to 4 months. That's incredible. By making the officer's job easy, you are directly helping yourself get a faster and much happier result.
So here's the bottom line. The formula for a bulletproof application is actually pretty simple to understand, but it does take real work to pull it off. You need a high quantity of evidence combined with a high quality of presentation. You put those two together, and you create a case that is just undeniably convincing.
And that's the question I really want to leave you with. As you're putting your application together, just keep asking yourself this. Are you just collecting a pile of documents, or are you telling a clear, compelling story? Because honestly, your future together really depends on it.